Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and thank you for checking out another video. I have my WRX in here today because most enthusiasts like myself have issues with the transmission and engine mounts in these cars, and most notably how soft they are. So from factory, they're designed more for comfort and daily driving, and they try and soften the blow. So basically what happens is your engine rocks backwards, it rocks side to side, the transmission shifts around, everything moves, right? And so what they do is they make these mounts pretty soft so that they absorb all of that noise and vibration and motion, and you don't get any of that in the cabin. And a lot of enthusiasts like myself like to upgrade the mounts so you get a more firm ride. And what I mean by that is when you're driving around, if you've ever been in a parking lot and you let off the clutch and the car's kind of like bogging around a little bit, it's because that engine is rocking back and forth and it just kind of like skips. It's the weirdest thing ever. When you start upgrading your mounts and everything's a little bit more stiff, you don't get as much of that. Especially in my situation where I have an upgraded clutch now, it is very hard to get a nice smooth start because the engine rocks. So when I let off that clutch, it grabs really hard and the engine just shakes. And there's nothing to hold the engine in place because the factory mounts are so soft that they're allowing it to move that much. But what we're installing today is a Perrin Pitch Stop. And what this does, I'll show you guys in a second if you're not already familiar. This is actually a carryover product that's been on the WRX for a long time. And this one is good for, oh man, I can't even think of what all years and models this is good for. But I'll leave a link to this one. I picked this one up from Import Image Racing. Again, my favorite place to shop for this car. They always set me up with good deals, great shipping, great pricing. And so if you're in the market for any car parts, check out Import Image Racing, and I'll leave a link in the description for this if you're interested in it and want to check it out for yourself. But we're going to install this. We're going to replace the factory part. I'll show you the differences between the two. It's a really simple mod, but just keep in mind you are going to experience a little bit more noise in the cabin. Now, I have a upgraded clutch with a lightweight flywheel in here, which makes a lot of extra noise. So if you're hearing more noises and you're like, I'm not comfortable with that, most of it's going to be the clutch. I promise you that. But we're going to install this now. I'm going to pop the hood. Once you have your hood popped, you're going to be looking for your pitch stop. I'll show you guys where that is. Keep in mind, I have a front mount intercooler. I will show you how to remove your factory intercooler, which you're going to have to do to get to the pitch mount if you're still on a factory or an upgraded top mount intercooler. So to remove the factory top mount intercooler, we have a series of 12mm bolts that we need to remove. We have 2 on the left-hand side, 2 in the middle, and 2 on the right-hand side. And then we'll come down to the charge pipe and this little metal band going around that clamps the charge pipe to the intercooler pipe. We can pop that out. You'll hear it click and release, and we can remove the intercooler from the vehicle. So once your factory intercooler is out of the way, we can look for our pitch stop. And that's going to be down here. You can see it. It is going to be held on with a 14mm bolt back here and a welded nut. So you're just going to need a 14mm socket to get that off. And then the front side is going to be held on with a 14mm bolt and nut combo. So you'll need 2 14mm there to remove that. So I'm just going to start by removing this 14mm bolt in the back. Now we can remove our 14mm on the front side. You are going to have washers on here, so make sure that you are saving those. So there's the nut and washer from the back side. And then your bolt and washer from the front side. So here's our factory pitch stop. And you can see if I take a screwdriver on this back side, you can see how much I can move this. That's a lot of movement. And again, you can kind of do the same up and down. But this right here is the movement that it is going to be seeing when your engine is rocking. And you can see how much movement and play is in that. And then if we come to the front side here, it's going to be pretty similar, just not quite as bad. It's a little bit more of a solid bushing. Not to mention, I'm actually bending this whole thing with my bare hands. Well, a little bit of extra leverage from a screwdriver. I am actually bending this whole thing. And I could break this if I wanted to. The VA chassis actually had some issues with these breaking, the factory mount breaking under hard launches and stuff like that. So we take our Perrin one here and we will do the same test. And I'm pushing with everything I got. And I can't, I mean, that movement you're seeing right there is the screwdriver moving around in the sleeved hole. But I cannot budge this thing. And it's not completely solid. These are polyurethane bushings, but I cannot move that to save my life. So that is a hell of an upgrade over the factory mount. And so we're gonna put this one in now. So our pitch stop did come with a little grease packet. So I am just going to install a little bit of grease on here just to make this easier to slide in and out because you will find that this thing is pretty difficult to get in and out. So a little bit of grease will help this thing slide on there. Now we can take our new pitch stop and slide it in, and we'll kind of have to slide in and up. It's not super fun. It's definitely gonna take some force. And then we will push the front side down. If you guys need to get it back just a little bit extra without using too much force on your hands, you can take a flathead and do that right there. That will help you to get that thing lined up. And we will move this just a little bit more. Try and get it lined up where we need it to be. Then we'll put our bolt through. Then we'll take our original nut and bolt and put it back down on the bottom here. Well guys, it did take a little bit of muscle to get that thing in. I had to move the camera out of the way to get a little bit more leverage. What I did do was the screwdriver trick that I showed you guys, where I just kind of put the screwdriver in there and kind of moved it around to try and line up the bolts. That is the method that worked best. Overall, it still probably only took me about 5 minutes to get it in, just a little bit of struggle, but it's in there now, and hey, at least you know it's a real tight fit. So it's in there now. We will go out, we'll take a little drive, see if we have any ridiculous NVH or not, but I don't think we will. Okay, so I don't know if you guys are hearing anything here, but it's really not bad. I'm not noticing, it might have increased volume by about 5 to 10%. It's really not bad, but here's what I want to check out is the initial start, because I've had trouble getting a somewhat smooth start with this clutch because it shakes the whole engine, and when it shakes the whole engine, it makes it hard to engage the clutch. So, oh, hang on. That is light years better. That is, oh, okay guys, that is it. That's what we needed. That fixed my clutch jitter. I am noticing around 2,500 RPMs. You can hear the motor. It's not terrible, right around that 2,500 RPM mark, but to me, this takeoff is worth it. No issue whatsoever. It's a slight little jerk, and that's it, we're off. Before, I wish I could have showed you guys a before video, because it was literally like, so I don't mind a little bit of extra noise if it's going to make the car drive better. And really, with a little bit of music playing, you're not going to notice any of that. Now, I want to try something here. A problem that I've always had was slow creep. So like in a parking lot, when you're just kind of creeping along. So I'm going to slowly let off the clutch, give it a little bit of gas, and just get the car rolling. And now, no gas at all. We're just going to let the clutch and the engine drive the car. Oh, that is butter smooth. It's not jerky at all. I have someone coming up, but that feels fantastic. I am so happy with that. Well guys, that's all I have for you today. Hopefully this video was helpful for you. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description where I picked that up from Import Image Racing, and I will see you guys in the next video.